All right, first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. All right, in this particular video, I want to touch on what's going on right now with this whole global market. All right, now the global market is tanking. It's going down right now due to Donald Trump and his tariffs. As a matter of fact, he's having a meeting right now as we speak. And, they're asking him some questions about the tariffs. And he's basically saying no, he's not going to let up off of them. So, hey, we might continue to see the global, the global stock market keep going down and down and down here in America. And if you look at the S&P, which is the Standard and Poor, it's a good indicator on how the stock market is doing here. And it's about to go down to the 20s, and that's a bear market. And a bear market is what means that your stock market, where it is, it goes down 20% or below. So we're looking at it, the stock market here in America about to reach a bear market. All right, so you got a lot of people, concerned about that. All right, consumer confidence and things like this, man, it's out the window. They looking at America like, yo, what's going on? You got Trump supporters even speaking up. You have people saying, make America great again, make America tank again, referring to the stock market. Now, if a global market collapse happens, because eventually that's going to happen because the whole world, in which all these nations are in it, want to push forth that new world currency, that global currency, which is digital. All right, that digital currency. All right, so we know that the global markets have to collapse. And could this be it right here? I mean, who knows? But let's get that, though. This is Zephaniah 1:11, and we read, How ye, inhabitants of Maktesh. And Maktesh was a merchant city known for trading silver. In today's time, it would be like Wall Street and all the other financial districts and financial centers around the world, too. The Lord says, How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. for they that bear silver are cut off, right? And this eventually has to happen because they want to usher in the digital currency, right? The NWO is predicated, as Elder Apostle Arumlab would say, use a big word right there. NWO was predicated on removing cash permanently or totally and having it go to digital, and all nations are on board and they're pushing it as well. India, China. If you look at BRICS, they introduced their form of currency and it was digital. See, the whole world is moving toward that. Donald Trump and Russia, Putin, had a talk with each other, and they said that it was going to be a struggle for this, who's going to be on top on this new world order. You see that? So these things has to happen. All right. And I looked up what is a global market collapse. And it says this is the AI overview. Why a global market collapse can signify or significantly contribute to an economic collapse. And I'm going to tell you what an economic collapse is after this. It's not an automatic or inevitable outcome, as other factors like government policies, geopolitical events, and consumer confidence also play a crucial role. So not just the global economy, a global stock market taking a L, taking a nosedive, that has something to do with an economic collapse. But other things have a factor too. Government policies, what we see what Trump is doing right now, geopolitical events. Well, it's about to be damn World War III. And it says, and consumer confidence, which that's out the window. In the video that I'm going to play after this, the heathen says that. He says, well, that's it. The only thing that's been keeping this global economy afloat is gone. And that is confidence. Yeah, that's out the window, man. You got people not I don't know too much about the market, but you got a lot of people not buying. All right. So what's an economic collapse or economic meltdown? That refers to a severe and prolonged downturn in an economy, potentially lead into widespread economic hardship, high unemployment, and a breakdown of normal commerce, which is buying and selling. See that? Could this be us watching this happen right here? Zephaniah 1 and 11 hopping off of the page? Well, we'll see. This is Ecclesiastes 12. So like I'm on the plantation. I got to keep my head on the swivel. 12. And let's start at 1 and let's go to 4. And we read, Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. The Lord says, remember him, right now. All right? Instead of when all hell starts to break loose, you trying to jump ship. The doors of repentance is going to be closed then. All right, remember him right now. Seek his face right now. Clean yourself up right now. Practice the law, statutes, and commandments right now. Instead of when all your pleasures is gone. You see? While the sun and the light, or the moon, or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day where the keepers of the house shall tremble, the elites, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders ceased. What's the grinders? That's the workers, right? When these businesses, you got your mom and pop shops and your regular businesses, your Trader Joe's and things like this, when they start closing, and a lot of businesses are closing right now. As you see, all the Big Lots is closing. Subway's closing a lot of their stores. So forth and so on. It's out there. You just educate yourself on it. All right. And the grinders cease, the workers, because there are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the street. These businesses, man. All right. Crown Vic Royale, you remember that? That was a foreshadowing of how it's going to look somewhat. Just giving you like a little preview. How you can ride down the streets and businesses were closed and there was barely no people outside. And, it wasn't hustling and bustling how it used to be when Crown Vic Royale was going on, if you was paying attention. All right? That was the doors being shut on the streets. Well, it's about to be shut even further in these upcoming times. It says, when the sound of the grinding is low, right? Unemployment. Like, what does it say in an economic meltdown? Let me read that again. Definition of economic meltdown or economic collapse. This refers to a severe and prolonged downturn in the economy, potentially leading to widespread economic hardship, high unemployment, right? You see that? When the grinding is low, when the sound of the grinding is low, and a breakdown of normal commerce, buying and selling. You see? And all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, let's get another one real quick. Let's get 2 Ezra 15 and 16. Because when all of this happens, when the doors are shut on the streets, people can't buy, can't, sell, it's a famine about to hit, which, I don't know how it's going to happen, how they're going to introduce that MOTB, but I know you can't buy or sell without it. But they might let people starve and then bring in or usher in this new system as the savior. Like, hey, only thing you got to do is take the chip. So, there might be a time of famine and then they usher in the new system and roll it out. But that's neither here nor there. We learn in part, so we prophesy in part. But that's just an avenue that they could take, and it could happen like that. Anyway, this is 2 Ezra 15, and I think it's 16. Let me see. For the sword and the Oh, right here. And 19, and we read, the second Ezra 15 and 19, and we read, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? What do you think people are going to do when they can't get their hands on some food? They can't get their hands on some water. And it's a famine going on. What do you think people are going to do? All right? They're going to have no pity on their neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. What does it mean to spoil your goods? Break in there and look for anything that they can. And why do they have the sword? Because if anything stands in their way, they're going to put it to death. And the modern day sword is what? The strap, the gun. Or it can be anything, any weapon of war. Anything like a machete, an actual sword, a bat. Anything, man. Anything that they can get their hands off that they think can give them an advantage over you in that house. And they're going to look for boots, coats, if it's cold, medicine, food, water, and anything that they can take, man. Anything. Because of lack of bread, right? That famine and great tribulation. All hell's going to be breaking loose out here, man. You see that? Let's get Isaiah 13 and then we'll play this video. This is Isaiah 13. Start at 16, we read, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, right? People are going to witness their children be put to death right in front of them. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. That's right. People are going to break in and spoil the house, rob the house, and kill people and ravish wives. Like the movie The Road, which there were gangs out there on that movie The Road. And it were cannibal gangs, all right? Food and water ran out, so they start looking for people. All right. And they ran up on them. And before it was just the son and the father. Or the father and the son, I just say it in that order, proper order. The mother was there. And the mother was giving up. So she committed suicide. But before she committed suicide, she said, them gangs are going to catch up to us. And they're going to break in, they're going to kill you, they're going to grape juice your son, and they're going to grape me. And then they're going to eat us, which means they're going to kill him and eat him. All right, that's how bad things got. All right? So could we be witnessing the beginning of these things? Well, who knows? Let's just keep our eyes on it. With that, I'm going to play this video.
All right, everybody, I've got some breaking news here for you. I'm sure that you have seen the markets crashing around the world. I just spoke to a couple of economists who discussed what is happening across Asia, Australia, both our allied partners and our enemies. The tariffs that were enacted by Donald Trump have erased the only thing that has kept this market afloat. Confidence. The economist that we spoke to said that there are basically two options from this point forward. Really three if you consider world war. But the other two options are that the nations that are with the United States of America, they'll take their money out of other markets and they'll place them in some form of confidence into the U.S. marketplace. Or, and here's the more dangerous one, our banks will fail. Our money will become worthless. And you and I will be turned into the citizens of a third world before the day is over. We're watching this very, very closely, and I am going to bring you some of the other things that are happening around the world, but I want to tell you that what happens over the course of this week, so basically you have 5 days. What happens over the course of this week, and whether you're watching it right now after the markets have opened, or you're watching it maybe tomorrow, know that it's the same exact thing. The U.S. is faced with a position. Do you think that this is a coincidence in any way that the current president, Donald Trump, is moving our military assets to the Middle East at the same coordinated time that we opened up these sanctions and these tariffs? Do you think that it's not a coordinated event, that we are preparing to go to war with multiple countries right now?
Hey, man, see, we at the end, man. We at the end. MOTB's around the corner. How many times we kept saying it? All right? If World War III is this close, World War III, to some of these people on the internet, they think it's about to pop off tomorrow. Which we know that the MOTB has to be implemented on a massive scale before that. So, as we see in every day, you know, there's more breaking news after breaking news after breaking news about World War III. If the MOTB has to be implemented on a massive scale before World War III pops off, how close are we to that? Now we see in the global economy or global stock markets straight crash. You see? Hey.
And do you think it's no coincidence that China just drove off a U.S. fighter jet from the Taiwan region in the South China Sea? We have these series of events that are taking place, and what they're doing is bringing us closer to the inevitable. We are at war. We're at war in trade. We are at war.
Shalakia, you got a dumbass commercial problem. What's going on?
I put the Skull Shaver, the Remington, and the Freebird in a head-to-head challenge to see which one was the best head shaver.
We are at war. We're at war in trade. We are at war in military conflict. And we are at war with tyranny. Now, in the United States, a lot of people are saying that the only way that we are going to get through the fraud and corruption that has taken place over the last 60 years was a crash. Tell me one economist, tell me one realist who saw what they were doing and didn't say that the only way to rebuild this is from the ashes of the burnt empire of the United States of America.
Well, ain't no rebuilding America, but there's one thing you do got right. It's gonna burn. Got that right, buddy boy. All right. So, but these economists know what they're saying. They saying it gotta be a collapse. Ain't no way you can fix this. It's gonna be an economic collapse, man. So what is this saying in code speech? Prepare for a new world order, a new global currency, which they've been talking about for years and years and years, which we've been talking about for years and years and years. Talking about the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down, even to us affiliates, man. Which we learn everything we know from the apostles and the elders, man. So how about that? We've been warning for years and years and years. Now we see these things coming to pass. Hey, IURC, ISUPK, HOY, all these other alphabet camps, man. Sakari, Genesis, Wi-Fi, all you mugs, freelance Israelites, Yah Israelites. Well, we're gonna see real swiftly who was right. Real soon, who was right. Was it Great Millstone? Or was it y'all? And y'all false leaders and y'all false teachers, man. We're gonna see.
Everybody knew what it was going to take, but we weren't quite certain how far Donald Trump was willing to go to get this. Now, this goes two ways. We either have confidence rebuilt in our market through military strength and the backing of the U.S. military and government, or countries feel that America is too volatile to touch. What we're going to see today, and you're going to watch, I'm going to bring you another video later in the afternoon. After we start to kind of see what happens, I know what's coming. What's about to hit is going to be really bad. I personally know individuals who just lost their life savings. I know people who feel like their house is gone. The repo man already looking for their vehicle. If you don't already have some food stocked up, today's the day to do it. If you don't have a way to filter and treat water for your family, today is...
Which you can do that, all right, but don't have faith in that type of stuff, man. Because ultimately, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is the one who's going to feed us, man. All right. So we have faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, not our own capabilities to stock shit up and Salakia, I gotta keep my head on swivel. I'm driving, so Salakia if I'm a little distracted. But the point is, our faith is in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It's not in stocking things up and being a doomsday prepper or anything like that. All right. So what he's saying, you can do it, but don't put your faith in that shit.
The day to find it. Anything that we are looking at from the point of this day forward is a huge unknown. The availability of supplies at Walmart or even on Amazon.com. It's only been a couple of months in the grand scheme of things since COVID hit. And when it did, you saw unavailable products across multiple platforms. People stabbed each other for toilet paper. If you don't feel like this next version of the crash is going to be even more amplified than that one, you haven't been paying attention. What we're going to see over the course of the next 12 to 24 months is going to reshape the history books. For a while, they abused the laws of the economy. They abused the laws of the people. They gained while we lost. Corporations knew that there was only so far that they could take it, and they pushed it a little bit further. We knew this was coming. It's very scary times because what we don't know is what the outcome's going to be. No one has a crystal.
Hey, well, we didn't need a crystal ball. And you say nobody knows what the outcomes are going to be. Well, we know eventually the global markets is going to collapse. We know eventually they're going to bring in that MOTB. It's just looking like the perfect time right now. You know, so that's why, you know, we keeping our eyes on it. We were told to stay on our watch and measure the times diligently. All right, so we got our eyeballs glued to the screen. And this is looking like, hey, it's looking like an avenue to the MOTB. It's looking like it's it. You got World War III about to pop off. America's moving all its assets to the Middle East. You know, you got Trump bombing the hell out of Iranian-backed proxy groups. You got Russia and China saying that they're backing Iran up if any strike to Iran is done. We got, man, look, he was supposed to have a meeting with Xi Jinping, the president, or they call him a dictator, of China. Man, they canceled that. I don't know, man. Things really looking like, hey, we there, man. Like we months away.
The ball. No one has the magic 8 ball that they're shaking around waiting to see whether we should, try again. All we know is that it's burning down. The American empire is on its way out, folks. The crashing face it, China opened up 10% down in their stock market. The stops hit the brakes very soon. Could you imagine if you woke up tomorrow morning and you were suddenly 10% down on your body? What part of your body would you lose to lose 10% and think that you're okay? The body can't survive without 10% in many cases. So what do we do next? Well, here in the prepper community, we know we all have a very limited amount of time. We know what's coming. Your neighbors, they're not going to be so kind. The people down the street, or the people who don't even know you,
did we not just read this?
Will be even less so. They will want what you've got. They will take what you have. What you need to do is be prepared to defend yourself, your family, your goods, your livelihood, your future, the freedom of your country, the freedom of your city and state. You need to be ready. What's coming is anyone's guess. Now, back during the beginning stages when we saw a spreadable disease hit China, I told you that things were going to get very hairy very soon. I'm telling you again, we are at that point. China, Taiwan, Russia, NATO, the USA versus the world. Now, a lot of our allies are saying that it's time to jump ship on the United States of America. They're saying it's over now, that the empire of Uncle Sam has died. The funeral, unnecessary. They're ready to move.
Man, ain't this beautiful, Toms? I like that way he said, the empire of Uncle Sam is dead. Funeral, unnecessary. Hey, it's just beautiful times, man, we're living in. Hey, I quit drinking, but shit, I might have to drink today.
On. And so where are they placing their money? A lot of them are placing it into countries like China. A lot of them are placing it across the world. We only have one hope, and that's what Donald Trump talked about, kind of that threat that he threw out to all of Europe, that if you want to try to mess with America, you are going to get the bad end of this stick. And so there was a very open understanding that you're either with us or you're against us. And that goes for these tariffs. Look, Scott Besson, our entire economy team, Donald Trump, they're all saying the same thing. This is going to hurt. I told you this weeks ago. They knew this was going to hurt. But they're saying it has to be done. Now, if you look at countries that have undergone similar financial crisis events, not a lot of them came out stronger. They can either go back to the old way of things where they print fake money and live on debt, or we can hope for something new in the future. Well, guys, it is time to build that hopium up high. So here's a couple of things that I think you're going to need to go out and get this week. When you look at aid organizations who provide aid to remote countries and remote regions, they provide a couple of key things. Over-the-counter medication like aspirin, ascorbic acid for its vitamin C, any sort of natural remedy. But in the food, they supply the staples: rice, flour, sugar.
All right, if you want to watch the rest. All right, hope that was edifying. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.